Hello, everyone. Today we'll discuss the end time for the Shema and for the Amida. And we already mentioned these in the past, but this will be a little bit more detailed and a little bit more concentrating on what if we skipped it or lost it, missed it, and what are our options. So the time to recite Kriyat Shema lasts for the first 3 hours of the day, for until then, people are still waking up. In that way, one indeed fulfills his mitzvah of reciting Shema Uvkumecha when you get up, when people wake from their sleep. And so if you remember, we said that because princes and people who don't have a 9 to 5 job sleep in, and so the people of Israel are called B'nai Melachim, sons and daughters of the king with capital K, and so that's why we have this time for the morning Shema. Most poskim favor the opinion of the Gra. However, regarding Kriyat Shema, whose time is biblical, it is correct to be stringent like the Magen Avraham. So if you remember yesterday, we discussed that they calculate differently. The Gra calculates from sunrise and Magen Avraham calculates from dawn. And so it's at least 12 minutes difference between them. So now we're talking about the end of the time of Shema. So it's the same question. Basically, who do we rely on? So he said most poskim, which means most Torah halachic scholars follow the opinion of the Gra. Also, he was before the Magen Avraham. The Magen Avraham wasn't really contemporary of him. The reason why he's called Gaon, genius, is because some people say that he was at the level of the Geonim, which was the period between the end of the Talmud and the Rishonim. And so that's how much strength there is to that opinion. Again, it's nothing that the Gra himself ever said. I am a Gaon. He would never do such a thing. But we started calling him that. I'm not even sure when, but this is why most of us can follow that opinion. But because it is a biblical obligation, so we have a different rule. So regarding Kriyat Shema, whose time is biblical, it is correct to be stringent like the Magen Avraham in accordance with the rule, Sfeka Doraita L'Chumra. When there is this uncertainty concerning the biblical commandments, we are stringent. Okay, so for example, I'll just give a totally different example. If somebody didn't know if they wash their hands in the morning, right? They think they might have because they do every morning, but they don't remember for sure doing it. Then we can say that even if you want to wash again, it should be without a blessing because it is seka derabanan. But if somebody doesn't remember if they had the kazait matzah on Seder night, or they think maybe they were about to eat it, but then something happened, they got distracted, then they must eat it because it's a uncertainty concerning a biblical law. Nevertheless, there are those who are accustomed to follow the Gra's approach, and one should not oppose this custom. Even though the time of Kriyat Shema only lasts 3 hours, if the third hour passed and one did not recite it, he must recite it with its blessings sometime within the 4th hour, and he is merited for reciting it like one who reads from the Torah. So this is stage 2, where it's between the 3 and 4 mark, and so you do say the blessings, and it's not what's called a bracha levatala, a blessing that was Hashem's name was said in vain, and the mitzvah is still like you read from the Torah concerning the actual Shema. But now the time of the Shacharit prayer and Birkot Kriyat Shema lasts for 4 hours. For the Chachamim established its time corresponding to the Tamid offering, the eternal offering of the morning, which was brought until the end of the 4th hour of the day. Since its obligation is rabbinic, we're talking now about the Amida, the halacha is lenient and allows us to rely upon the Gra's approach and to pray later. Even so, l'chatchila, those who are expeditious, which means that they're more stringent, fulfill their obligations early. Therefore, it is good to follow the approach of the Magen Avraham and pray early. So far we've gotten to the end of the 4th hour. If 4 hours pass and one did not yet recite Kriyat Shema, Birkot Kriyat Shema, nor pray the Amida, it is agreed that he may pray the Amida until Chatzot, so he still has 2 more hours for the Amida, but now he can't say the blessings on the Kriyat Shema because it has passed its time, and these would be saying God's name in vain, what's called a bracha levatala. Although the halacha follows Rabbi Yehuda, who rules that the time of Shacharit is until the end of 4 hours, and does not follow the opinion of Chachamim, who maintain that the time is until Chatzot, nevertheless, even Rabbi Yehuda admits that one who did not pray before 4 hours lapsed, before 4 hour lapsed, may, b'diavad, complete his prayer until Chatzot. Although he is not merited for praying on time, he does receive the merit for his prayer. One may not pray Shacharit after Chatzot. That everybody agrees. So that's the Shema and the Amida. Regarding Birkot Kriyat Shema, the poskim disagree. According to the Shulchan Aruch and most poskim, Chazal are only lenient concerning the Amida and permit one to recite it until Chatzot. The reason for this is that, in principle, a person is allowed to pray Shmoneh Esrei as a voluntary prayer, Tfilat Nedava, at any time. So even if somebody wants to pray a fourth prayer of the day, without any specific reason, it's not Musaf, it's not Rosh Chodesh, he just wants to say thank you to Hashem and to maybe concentrate better the second time, they're allowed to do that, and because you are also allowed to bring a korban nedava, and we're going to read about that in this week's parsha. Therefore, in any situation of uncertainty, one may pray. However, Birkot Kriyat Shema may not be recited as a voluntary prayer. Hence, one who was late and did not recite them within the first 4 hours of the day cannot regain them, according to the Mishnah Berurah. If his reason for missing the recital was due to circumstances beyond his control, he is permitted to recite them until Chatzot. And I don't know anybody who follows that opinion, but maybe there's special circumstances, like if somebody's in the hospital and they only, they had a very rough night and they only wake up at 11:30 in the morning. So we're not going to tell him to shorten his prayer. That will be disrespectful to him and to Hashem, and that's this idea. And so we'll go on to Halacha 12 in this section. Cooperates. So, since the Chachamim instituted the recital of Shema together with the brachot and established praying the Amida immediately following the Chatchila, the time of Shacharit should be set to allow people to succeed in reciting Shema before the first 3 hours of the day have ended, according to the Magen Avraham. When the congregation is late to pray and there is concern that those praying will recite the Shema after the time, according to the Magen Avraham, people praying should be instructed to recite the paragraph of Shema before beginning to pray. One who wishes to enhance the mitzvah should read all 3 paragraphs. So the Ashkenazi minhag is to read Le'olam Adam every day, even though we're praying on time. Le'olam Adam is the paragraph after the morning blessings, and the Ashkenazi custom is to only recite the first paragraph of the Shema. And this is just in case we're going to pray late one day and forget. So this has come into the Siddur as part of our routine. And the Sephardi Jews, as far as I know, all of them read all 3 paragraphs. And even more interesting, in the bedtime Shema, they read all 3 paragraphs. So, and for a very different reason. But so when the congregation prays even later and recites the Amida after the time of prayer had already ended, according to the Magen Avraham, the poskim disagree as to what is preferable. There are those who say that it is better to pray in a minyan within 4 hours, according to the Gra, because that is the opinion of the majority of poskim. Further, the time of Shacharit is rabbinic, and we are lenient when there's uncertainty regarding rabbinic rules. Plus, we said that we're allowed to bring a tefillat korban nedava, so voluntary offering to Hashem, so prayer would be the same idea. Additionally, in cases of extenuating circumstances, one may recite Shacharit until Chatzot, until halachic midday. Therefore, it is best to pray in a minyan as the Chachamim established, even if the congregation prays after the time to pray has ended, according to the Magen Avraham. So I'll end here, and because it just goes on to give more examples. But I remember that when we would wake up in the summer vacation very late, so And my friend's mother would wake us up just before the end of the time of Shema. We would wash our hands, say the Shema, and go back to sleep. And then we would go to a shtibel, which was about an hour and a half later, and somehow miraculously find a minyan of other people who slept in. So that's why the idea of minyan, you can concentrate better. You are sure that your prayer will be accepted by Hashem because you helped 9 other Jews make a minyan, and on and on and on. All the different qualities of the minyan that we talked about when we started our study.